3 levels of integrity. How God tests who you are when no one's watching. You see someone return a wallet they found on the street, and everyone nods in respect. That's integrity. We love moments like that. The ones that prove goodness still exists. But integrity runs deeper than what happens in public. Returning a wallet when people are watching is admirable, yet real integrity is what you do when no one would ever find out if you didn't. It's the unseen choice to stay honest, to keep your word, and to walk straight even when shortcuts look safer. God values that kind of integrity more than talent, success, or applause. Before he trusts someone with influence, he first watches who they are in silence. David was tested in the fields when no one cared about his faithfulness. Joseph was tested in prison when his honesty cost him everything. Daniel was tested in Babylon when standing firm could have ended his life. Each of them proved trustworthy, not through performance, but through consistency when no one else was there to see it. Integrity isn't a personality trait, it's a spiritual muscle. It grows every time you choose truth over comfort, discipline over convenience, and faithfulness over fear. In this message, we'll explore 3 levels of integrity, how God shapes it, tests it, and strengthens it. And I'll share a few simple habits you can start this week to build real integrity from the inside out, so that who you are in private becomes strong enough to carry God's purpose in public. Part 1. Visible integrity. There is a kind of honesty that blossoms when eyes are on us. You feel it at work when a supervisor walks by and everyone straightens. You sense it in church when we promise generously while the basket passes. Nothing wrong with being our best in public. It matters, but visible integrity is the first step, not the whole journey. God uses it like training wheels to teach our heart a straighter line. I learned this in a simple way. Years ago, I was a young pastor setting up chairs before a service. I worked faster when people entered the hall. When the room was empty, I slowed. No one pointed it out. The Spirit did. He whispered, "If your pace changes with the audience, your motive is not ready yet." That gentle nudge did not shame me. It invited me to grow. Visible integrity looks like this. We keep our word because others are counting on us. We show up on time. We speak truth in meetings, even when it is uncomfortable. We separate personal and ministry money. We give credit where it is due. These choices create a clean atmosphere around our life. People can breathe near someone who is dependable. Yet there is a risk inside this level. We can confuse applause with approval. We can mistake appearing consistent for being consistent. We may choose right because we want to be seen as right. If that is where you are, do not despair. God often starts here. He lets us taste the goodness of public trust so that he can invite us into a quieter strength. Think of Daniel. Before lions and decrees, he served a foreign king with excellence. Even his opponents admitted they could not find corruption in him. That was not showmanship. That was stewardship. Daniel honored God by doing ordinary tasks with unusual honesty. The public could see it, and God chose to use it. This level has a gift. Visible integrity trains our mouth and hands before it fully trains motives. When we practice doing right in front of others, the habit writes itself into our muscles. The heart will catch up. The Lord is patient with that process. He is not waiting to expose you. He is building a life he can trust. If you recognize yourself here, let me walk with you for a moment. This is not about tearing down the good you already do. It is about anchoring that goodness deeper, so it stands when no one is clapping. Begin by noticing the small places where image still leads. Ask God to move you from performance toward presence, from trying to look faithful to simply being faithful. Here is a simple practice for the next 24 hours. Choose one ordinary setting where eyes are usually on you. Decide in advance what integrity looks like there. Then keep the same standard before and after others arrive. If you are early when people watch, be early when no one watches. If you speak kindly when a manager is near, speak kindly when the room is quiet. When the day ends, write one line about what changed in you. Add one more habit that protects the heart from the hunger for credit. Before the day is over, thank aloud one person who helped you succeed. Do it where it blesses them, not where it polishes you. Gratitude loosens the grip of reputation and teaches the soul to enjoy truth for its own sake. Visible integrity is not a finish line. It is a doorway. Do what is right, because it honors the one who sees. As this level becomes natural, you will be ready for the quieter test behind it. There, integrity stops, depending on an audience, and rests in the presence of God. Part 2. Private integrity. Private integrity is the part of your character that lives where applause cannot reach. It is what stays when the lights are off and the stage is empty. Many people never go this deep because it is a quiet level that no one celebrates. Yet this is the soil where God grows the roots of trust. He does his best work in the unseen. You can recognize this level by what you choose to do when you have the chance to hide. Maybe it's returning extra change the cashier forgot to count. Maybe it's admitting a mistake that no one else noticed. Maybe it's choosing to turn away from a conversation that feeds pride. Each small moment becomes a mirror. Every hidden choice says something about who we are becoming. Joseph understood this test. In Potiphar's house, he could have chosen pleasure, and no one would have known. Instead, he whispered to himself, "How could I do such a thing and sin against God?" That decision didn't earn him applause. It cost him comfort, reputation, and freedom. But in God's timeline, that loss became his promotion. Before Joseph ever led a nation, he mastered obedience in a locked room. That's where real integrity is forged. This level often feels lonely, because it removes the audience we've leaned on for affirmation. There are no likes for honesty, no trophies for returning what wasn't ours. Yet the silence of those moments is sacred. It's the sound of God watching over a heart he can trust. Private integrity isn't about rules. It's about relationship. It's when your love for God outweighs your fear of being unseen. If you've ever battled that inner voice that says, "No one will ever know," remember this: God will. And the same God who sees your hidden obedience will honor it at the right time. He's not grading your performance. He's shaping your nature. He's training your heart to stay true when the reward is invisible. Every secret act of faithfulness becomes a brick in the foundation he is building under your life. Here's a small practice to train this muscle. Pick one private area, something small but real. It could be how you handle time, words, or resources. For the next 7 days, keep an honest record. Each night, write one sentence about the moment you had a chance to cut corners and didn't. Let it be between you and God alone. Don't announce it. Don't post it. The discipline of secrecy purifies motives faster than any public test. If you fail one day, start again the next. God isn't counting how many times you fall. He's watching how quickly you return to truth. Repentance is also integrity. It's courage wearing humility's clothes. And when honesty becomes your reflex even in silence, you'll notice something beautiful. Peace settles in. The same peace that once felt far away begins to live inside you, because there's nothing left to hide. Part 3. Integrated. Integrity. There comes a time when integrity is no longer about what you do, but about who you are. This is the level where truth has sunk so deep into your bones that even under pressure, it holds. You don't have to think about being honest. You simply are. Integrated integrity means your private life and your public life have finally become one. What you believe, what you say, and what you do all speak the same language. Pressure is where this level is tested. Anyone can be faithful when things are calm, but when life squeezes you, when the job depends on compromise, when keeping peace means ignoring wrong, when friends misunderstand your conviction, that's when integrity reveals its roots. The pressure doesn't destroy it, it proves it. Just like gold refined by fire, the more heat it endures, the purer it becomes. Daniel faced that kind of fire. When the decree forbade prayer, he didn't need to debate. His decision had already been made in peace, long before the test arrived. He opened his windows toward Jerusalem as usual, because integrity had become his instinct. He didn't pray to be seen. He prayed because that's who he was. And when the lions came, they couldn't devour what God had already strengthened inside him. Jesus showed this same wholeness before Pilate. Accused unfairly, he didn't twist words to defend himself. His silence was not weakness. It was integrity under pressure. Even in pain, he refused to trade truth for escape. That's the highest form of strength, doing what's right when every emotion screams for a shortcut. At this level, integrity begins to lead others. People sense it without words. Your children notice it when you keep promises they forgot. Coworkers trust you when you take responsibility instead of shifting blame. Even strangers feel safer around someone who lives the same in every room. You may not realize it, but integrated integrity becomes a ministry all by itself. Here's how God uses this stage. When you no longer separate sacred from ordinary, He expands your influence. Integrity becomes the platform that can carry weight. Relationships, leadership, even suffering. The person who stays true under fire becomes someone God can trust with more. Not because they're perfect, but because they no longer bend to pressure. Their yes is yes, and their no is no. They have peace in storms, because their foundation no longer cracks. If you sense God bringing you to this level, here's a practice that keeps you steady. Think ahead to one situation where you often feel pressured. Maybe a conversation, a decision, or a temptation that repeats. Write down what integrity looks like there. Prepare your answer before the pressure comes. Then, when that moment arrives, you'll already know what to do. You won't have to scramble for courage because truth will already live in you. And when the test passes, thank God not for surviving, but for standing. Every time you stand, He strengthens what's within you. Integrity is not a fragile glass. It's a living root that grows stronger with every storm. When your character and your faith finally speak with one voice, you'll find a calm confidence that doesn't depend on outcomes. That's integrated integrity, the kind of life God can use to change the world quietly. One honest act at a time. Part 4. The rewards of integrity. Integrity doesn't just protect your soul, it shapes your future. Every time you choose truth over convenience, you are building something invisible but lasting. People often think reward means money or recognition, but God's rewards move deeper. He blesses the person whose inside and outside match. Peace begins to replace anxiety. Strength replaces fear. Trust begins to follow you without you asking for it. You've probably met someone whose presence calms a room. They don't have to say much. You just know they mean what they say. That's the quiet authority integrity gives. It draws respect without demand. When your word becomes reliable, God can use it to build bridges and heal hearts. People listen to voices they can trust, and heaven listens to lives that stay clean. Psalm 84 says God withholds no good thing from those who walk uprightly. That promise isn't about luxury. It's about freedom. Integrity frees you from the exhausting need to manage appearances. You don't have to remember what version of yourself you showed to whom. You don't have to chase approval, because truth is its own peace. You can rest, knowing your heart and your words are on the same side. Joseph's story didn't end in prison. The same integrity that cost him comfort opened the door to purpose. God didn't forget his faithfulness in secret. He promoted him publicly when the time was right. That's how divine reward works. It comes at the perfect time, not to show you off, but to show God's faithfulness through you. The delay is never punishment. It's preparation. There's another reward, more precious than promotion. It's intimacy. When you live with integrity, the distance between you and God shrinks. You sense his approval not as a crowd's cheer but as a whisper, "Well done." That whisper is worth more than any stage. The Holy Spirit flows freely through a heart that's clean, and your prayers gain new clarity because there's nothing clogging the connection. If you've been walking upright and wonder why it's quiet, take heart. Seeds of integrity grow slow but steady. God is not ignoring your effort. He's protecting what you're building until it's strong enough to last. Every honest act plants something in eternity. You may not see fruit today, but the root is alive. Peace today is proof that heaven has noticed. Try this small exercise this week. Look for one area where integrity has already brought blessing, maybe restored trust, calmer sleep, or better focus. Write it down and thank God specifically for it. Gratitude makes the invisible visible. Then, bless someone else quietly. Help them, cover them, or forgive them in secret. That's how you multiply reward without seeking attention. Integrity will not make life easier, but it will make it lighter. You'll walk with less to hide, less to prove, less to fear. That's a reward the world can't imitate. When your conscience is clear and your steps are steady, even the smallest moments feel sacred. You start to realize that the real reward of integrity isn't what you gain, it's who you become. Part 5. Living integrity every day. Integrity isn't a lesson to memorize. It's a lifestyle to keep practicing. It doesn't arrive fully grown after one decision. It matures through thousands of small ones. Each morning brings new chances to choose what's right quietly. Every evening gives a chance to reflect and begin again. The aim isn't to become flawless. It's to stay aligned with the truth, step by step, until honesty feels natural and peace becomes familiar. Start with what's already in your hands. Integrity shows up in simple things: how you talk about others when they're not there, how you handle money, no one is checking, how you follow through on promises, even when you're tired. These small moments shape the kind of person you are becoming. Don't wait for a big stage to prove faithfulness. God watches the daily stage, the kitchen, the commute, the small decision that no one notices but him. Sometimes you'll fail. Everyone does. The power of integrity isn't in never falling, but in returning quickly to the truth after you do. When you admit wrong without excuses, the cycle of shame breaks. God can heal what we confess, but not what we hide. Integrity keeps the heart light because it refuses to carry secrets. You don't have to live afraid of exposure when there's nothing left to hide. When integrity becomes a habit, confidence follows. You'll speak with calm because your words have history behind them. People will sense reliability in your presence. Even when storms come, you won't collapse inside. The same peace that guided you in private will stand beside you in pressure. You won't need to force respect. It will simply happen because truth has a sound people recognize. Here's a way to make integrity part of your daily rhythm. At the end of each day, ask 3 questions. Did I stay true to what I believe? Did I treat people with honesty and kindness? Did I correct what went wrong as soon as I saw it? Write your answers. This simple checkup keeps your heart awake. Integrity doesn't grow by intention alone. It grows by awareness. And as you practice, celebrate progress. Don't dismiss the quiet victories. The time you told the truth, though it cost comfort, the moment you gave credit when no one expected it, the decision to stop gossip before it started. Heaven counts those as milestones. You are becoming someone God can trust with greater peace, greater influence, and deeper joy. If you keep walking this path, you'll notice something beautiful. Life becomes simpler, decisions grow clearer. The gap between your faith and your actions narrows until they move together. That's integrity alive and breathing. Truth lived out in motion. And when you meet God face to face one day, you won't come empty-handed. You'll bring him the one thing this world cannot counterfeit: a heart that stayed honest until the end. Conclusion. Integrity is more than a moral word. It's a way of walking with God. It doesn't shout. It doesn't perform. It simply stays true when everything around you bends. Through these levels, we've seen how integrity begins in what's visible, deepens in what's private, and matures when pressure comes. And in each step, God isn't watching to catch you fail. He's guiding you to become whole, steady, and trustworthy in every season. The truth is, no one drifts into integrity by accident. It's built one choice at a time, one quiet surrender after another. But every honest act you make, every moment you choose truth over comfort, draws you closer to the kind of life that heaven honors. That's the hidden beauty of integrity. It's not about avoiding wrong. It's about aligning your heart with the one who is right. If you've felt unseen in your faithfulness, take courage. God sees what the world misses. He records every decision you make for him, even the ones no one thanks you for. And he promises that what's done in secret will one day be rewarded openly. Stay faithful in small things, and you'll see his hand unfold bigger ones. So as we end, let this prayer rest in your heart. Lord, make me the same person in private that I am in public. Let my words and my ways match your truth. Teach me to choose honesty, even when no one notices. And when you test me, help me pass quietly, with peace in my soul and joy in my steps. Walk that prayer out this week. Practice one small act of truth each day. Let integrity become the rhythm of your life, the steady song that plays beneath everything you do. Because when your heart stays honest, your life becomes a mirror that reflects the character of Christ. And that's the kind of light the world can never ignore.